And we are live. Welcome back to EST's Cricket Daily Live. A very small panel today of me and Manish. We are hoping Afzal also is able to sort his internet issues out. A really exciting day. Maybe the lack of panels probably shows कि बहुत कुछ हो रहा है आज actually. A lot of electricity, internet, and what all that can happen has happened. The good things are happening as well. Side by side, we are taking an interview of one of a very special TMS commentators. So that is the good thing that's happening, and we have Hafzal here. So here, Hafzal, welcome. Uh, uh, Good to have you back, and Shashank is back as well in the comments. So yeah, we are starting to get our regular gang here. So yeah, first of all, good results today for the Indian women's cricket team, beating South Africa by 9 wickets. A really comprehensive performance with the bat and with the ball, just like it was by South Africa in the first ODI. So that sets up a wonderful series coming forward. West Indies versus Sri Lanka tomorrow. The series kicks off. The ODI series kicks off. So does the Afghanistan versus Zimbabwe second test match. So there are some good signs that things are coming back. And uh, पॉपुलर ओपिनियन पे या फिर फरमाइश पे हमने फाइनली रोहन गुलाटी साहब को वापस लाने का
Well,
वी हैव
well, well. Look at the guy.
सक्सेसफुली ब्रॉट बैक रोहन गुलाटी एटलीस्ट फॉर सम टाइम रोहन आई होप सब कुशल मंगल है जयपुर में यू आर डूइंग वेल योर नेट इज एक्टिंग वेरी सॉफ्टली एंड स्मूथली
एवरीथिंग इज सॉर्टेड. हाँ, डेटा आज थोड़ा बचा हुआ था तो आई कुड ज्वाइन. सो लेट्स सी कितना बचा हुआ है. बाकी वाईफाई एक बार लग जाए तो आग लगा देंगे.
आग लगा देंगे. Precisely what Smriti Mandhana and Julian Goswami did today. आग लगा दी absolutely pitch पे. And
Yeah,
yes, obviously that was an important result. Two really good results in the Vijay Hazare Trophy as well. Uh, one of the results being that obviously Mumbai beating Saurashtra, a very comprehensive win with the bat. I must say, Prithvi Shaw played a brilliant innings once again today, and it sets up, in all essentialities, a batting paradise between Mumbai and Karnataka in the semi-finals. Whereas in the other semi-final, it will be Gujarat versus UP. So quite an interesting draw there for the semi-finals, obviously. For the Vijay Hazare Trophy, good games to really look forward to. As we already talked about the Afghanistan and the West Indies Sri Lanka series, they do kick off. I mean, the Test match and the ODI series kicks off tomorrow. We will talk a bit about Southampton, not the football club, but we'll talk about the Aegis Bowl, and we will talk about all the permutations and combinations and things that actually went through because an interesting shift of paradigm after India qualified for the World Test Championship final. The venue has been shifted to Southampton for logistical reasons, which makes a lot of sense because the stadium in itself has uh, you know the hotel wherein the players can stay and quarantine, and it will be easier. So that is one of the reasons. And we will take some interesting questions from the comments as well. So please do join on YouTube and do comment, and we will take those questions in as well. We'll start first with Rohan since he's been back after a while. Rohan, हमारे women's team ने तो आज धूम मचा दिया. Like there was this proper comeback where you talk about it being 100% the opposite, and which it was. We got dominated in the first game on all three aspects of the game, and we dominated South Africa in all three aspects of the game today. I know that it was Smriti Mandhana and Poonam Rao scored a lot of runs, but वो जेमिमा रॉड्रिग्स का जो ऑन ड्राइव था ना फर्स्ट कुछ ओवर्स में, वो ऑन ड्राइव का दिमाग में बैठा है, उसके बाद से वो निकल नहीं रहा है. सच अ वंडरफुल शॉट. बट या वेरी कॉम्प्रहेंसिव विक्ट्री टुडे.
या वेरी कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव. एंड अगेन वही बात थी जो फर्स्ट मैच में हार, मतलब बिकॉज इतने टाइम बाद इंडिया वुमेन्स टीम टुगेदर खेल रही थी इकट्ठे, तो वो रस्टीनेस लाइक दैट वाज लाइक एक्सेप्टेबल कि हो सकता है. एंड साउथ अफ्रीका अभी पाकिस्तान के साथ खेल कर आ रही थी सीरीज, तो आई थिंक वो डिफरेंस हो सकता था फर्स्ट मैच में. पर सेकेंड मैच में दिखा दिया क्लास, दिखा दिया है हु इज द बेटर टीम, दिखा दिया है किसके पास है स्टार पावर. and Smriti Mandhana हमारी number 18 in the Indian women's team, like always, like मतलब हमेशा दिल खुश कर देती है अपनी बैटिंग से. And good to see Poonam Raut playing such a good knock, because like Poonam Raut has been like in the team for a while, but वो वैसे knocks हम लोग इतना नहीं देखते हैं. So it was good to see Poonam Raut, and Jhulan Goswami, as always, like never fails to disappoint. Consistent line and length, बढ़िया bowling, एकदम मजा आ गया. मतलब तो आज बहुत ही प्यारा दिन था इंडियन वुमेन्स टीम के लिए, हम लोगों के लिए एज फैंस, एंड इसलिए हमने आज का दिन चूज किया है वापसी करने के लिए. ऐसा कोई फालतू दिन नहीं चूज किया हमने एक ऐतिहासिक दिन चूज किया. 488 डेज बाद इंडियन वुमेन्स टीम ओडीआई का मैच जीती है भाई. सो it's a historic day for all of us, and that's why I'm back.
Rohan, and an interesting stat: Jhulan Goswami made her debut before James Anderson, and she's still playing. And as much as we talk about James Anderson, Jhulan Goswami की longevity of her career as a fast bowler, जब women's cricket इतना ऊपर नहीं था, लेकिन अभी she has still been performing really well. आज का उनका परफॉर्मेंस ऑब्वियसली बहुत खुश कराने लायक था. मानसी जोशी also came back into the lineup today. She also took a couple of wickets. राजेश्वरी गायकवाड़ looked good, took 3 wickets. पूनम राउत को विकेट नहीं मिला, लेकिन बॉलिंग काफी अच्छा था उनका भी आज. अफजल, आज की सॉरी पूनम यादव पूनम यादव को विकेट नहीं मिला आज, बट काफी अच्छी गेंदबाजी थी उनकी. फ्लाइट काफी अच्छी दे रही थी, डिसीव कर रही थी बैट्समैन को. अफजल, आपको बॉलिंग कैसी लगी आज? बिकॉज देयर वाज अ ह्यूज कॉन्ट्रास्ट.
I guess we have lost.
There's a huge power cut. बहुत ही खतरनाक power cut हुआ है प्रथमेश के घर पे.
और he has stopped in a very very horrifying position. Yes,
but
like horror movies में. हाँ,
कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं वुमेन्स बॉलिंग के.
मुझे लगता है कि आज बॉलिंग बहुत अच्छी हुई है हमारे स्पिनर्स से. जो स्टार्ट फास्ट बॉलर्स ने हमें दिया था, उसके बाद जो हिसाब से पूनम यादव को अगर आप देखोगे तो स्टार्टिंग में अटैक कर दिया था उन्होंने. पहले ओवर में 2 बाउंड्रीज मार के 10 रन ले लिए थे उनकी फर्स्ट ओवर से. तो इसीलिए ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट था कि वो अच्छा कमबैक करे, और हमारे स्पिनर्स ने बहुत अच्छा कमबैक किया है. झूलन गोस्वामी की बॉलिंग बहुत अच्छी थी. स्टिल मुझे वो उनका जो नो बॉल पे जो विकेट मिला था उसकी वजह से 5th विकेट छूट गया, वो मुझे बहुत हार्ट ब्रेकिंग था मेरे लिए. कि मैं होप कर रहा था कि और एक 5 विकेट ऑल हो जाए, एक कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव कमबैक हो जाए, क्योंकि आगे चल के झूलन गोस्वामी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
Just one thing, नो बॉल पे विकेट मिलना एंड फिर उसके बाद हार्ट ब्रेक होना, आई डोंट थिंक हमें तो अब उसकी आदत हो चुकी है.
बिल्कुल मैं वहां नहीं जा रहा था, क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि वो 2016 T20 सेमीफाइनल, 2017 चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी फाइनल, तो अब हमें आदत सी हो चुकी है नो बॉल और विकेट्स की. तो Manish.
Yeah, like you said, brilliant bowling by Julian Goswami, and all of. For me, particularly, one moment which I cherished a lot today was the wicket that Harmanpreet Kaur took of Louis Goodall. Was very sad, and I really liked that wicket because हमने टेस्ट सीरीज में देखे हैं जैसे प्लेयर्स आउट हुए हैं, काफी सिमिलर सीधी बॉल पे सेट बैट्समैन बोल्ड हो रहा है. So that moment was, I was like, okay, ये तो काफी देखा हुआ सा लग रहा है. तो nice to see that happen in women's cricket as well. Thankfully किसी ने भी पिच के बारे में कोई कंप्लेन नहीं किया, even though
it was a very good wicket. आज रेड सॉइल की विकेट थी, तो वो उस तरीके से एक चेंज था फर्स्ट मैच की ब्लैक सॉइल की विकेट से, बट स्टिल विकेट बहुत अच्छी थी बैटिंग करने के लिए. साउथ अफ्रीका का स्टार्ट भी अच्छा था. आई बिलीव जो फर्स्ट विकेट लिजल ली का गिरा, वहां पे मैं थोड़ा 50-50 था विद द डिसीजन, टू बी ऑनेस्ट, क्योंकि एज अ न्यूट्रल क्रिकेट फैन आई सॉ दैट इट वाज गोइंग ओवर द स्टंप्स, बट DRS नहीं है. अंपायर ने जो डिसीजन दे दिया उसके बाद से आई बिलीव कि साउथ अफ्रीका अच्छी बैटिंग कर रहा था, बट हमने उन्हें रेगुलर इंटरवल्स पे विकेट ले लेकर उन्हें एक बड़ी पार्टनरशिप बिल्ड करने का मौका नहीं दिया. इसकी वजह से हम एक 200 प्लस का टारगेट चेज नहीं कर रहे.
एंड आल्सो जस्ट टू ऐड मनीष, एक लाइक इन्होंने न्यूट्रल क्रिकेट फैन के बाद मैं तो देख ही नहीं पाता एज अ न्यूट्रल फैन. तो मेरे हिसाब से तो वो बॉल सीधे लग रही थी स्टंप पे, मतलब एकदम क्रैशिंग द स्टंप. So nothing against it. Manish, yes, you can take over. Yeah.
I have not just joined alone. I've not just joined alone. I got Nathan back with me from Preston.
Oh,
Nathan, hi,
Yo.
welcome back. Good.
हाँ आता हूँ.
I just lost the whole plot here after my electorate. He just decided to play a little bit of scary movie at the end of at night. But yeah,
very,
uh,
very.
fair enough. But okay, Nathan is here. So Nathan, we were just talking about the Indian women team performance today against South Africa, and we were also going to talk a little bit about the Southampton pitch, because that is going to be something that is really fascinating for all of us, and uh, we will talk about that later. So first, I will take a few comments, and then Manish, have you guys have you spoken on the South Africa women's game?
We were just talking
Man,
about concluding, and like I pointed out the Harmanpreet Kaur wicket, a
Yeah,
batsman getting out on a straight ball, which we have seen happening so much. But just to sum it up, my point, it was lovely to see Smriti Mandhana once again bat, like Rohan said, aag laga di. The most interesting was pehle do ball, first two balls, two sixes, and
yeah,
I think Anurag
yeah,
posted it somewhere. Ki tell her that you don't have to be in such a hurry, because even at that moment, even I was like, okay, keep it easy, keep it easy. We want to see you back for long. We want to see you take the lead.
yeah,
But brilliant batting by Smriti Mandhana, and it was nice to see finally getting her one more 50. She achieved another record, if I'm not wrong, today by scoring
yeah,
10 plus consecutive
10,
50.
yeah,
And disappointed with the way Jemima Rodriguez got out. It was a bit
yeah,
unlucky, but brilliant support by Poonam Raut on the other end. And I expected this to happen. I expected Indian team to bounce back because we were playing the first ODI after a long time. So, and same goes for our South African women's team as well. Even they haven't played that many games because of the
yeah,
situation that we all are in. So this was bound to happen. One day, one of them are supposed to have an off day. So yeah, but it sets the series perfectly now. Okay,
yeah,
we got one all.
Yes.
Now it's going to be a really good series to watch on.
Yeah, and
yeah.
also just one small thing, like everybody has been talking about Priti Mandhana, but Poonam Raut coming back into the side
Yeah,
after a long layoff, she was in and out of the team, coming back at
yeah,
number three, owning, playing a few dot balls early into the innings, setting her eye in, and then
yeah,
capitalizing with her stroke making. It was very
yeah,
nice to watch Poonam Raut back because this was
yeah,
the Poonam Raut that we saw in the 2016-2017 years when she used to open the innings before
yeah,
the rise of Smriti Mandhana. But now Poonam Raut coming in at number three gives that solid platform, and Mithali Raj can play freely, and she does not
yeah,
have to take the burden of playing out the anchor role, consuming
yeah,
a lot of dot balls and just rotating the strike. So it's good that Mithali has some pressure off of her shoulders due to the
yeah.
emergence of Poonam Raut 2.0.
Yeah, and that was the thing, right? Like there were talks before the game that Poonam Rao's strike rate is around 56, 57 in one day cricket, but she played with a strike rate of 70 today. She showed that she can be a little more aggressive, but yet give support. And with whatever talent she has in her locker, it won't be shocking that if she increases the strike rates when the targets are slightly steeper to chase, and you obviously have all the firepower around her, so she could be a really vital key at number three. But yes, I will take a
Yes.
few comments and then we will talk about a good news for Nathan. Monty Panessa is spinning India out again. This is something that we saw in 2012, but we're seeing it now again. Shashank asks, welcome back, Shashank. Be honest, we watch full women games. Yes, we do, Shashank. For me, it was a
Yes.
little dilemma today because Prithvi Shaw was playing and I did not get to see the match because there wasn't any telecast. So that
yeah,
was tough. But the game between Uttar Pradesh and Delhi was also going quite good. So, a few matches to juggle around. But yeah, I think good days of cricket today. Meda says hello. Hello, Meda. Shashank says West Indies versus Sri Lanka T20I was amazing. Yes, it was. I mean, all the three T20Is had their Jamaican masala or whatever you call it. But at the end of the day, it was Fabian Allen who absolutely did phenomenally well to score those 21 or 6, and that is something that we are really looking forward to, how he emerges now as a T20 player. And we discussed it yesterday as well, where there was a lot of back behind the scenes of Sri Lankan cricket that need to be sorted out. So that is what we discussed yesterday. Jaipur में कहाँ रहते हो रोहन भाई? Where do you live in Jaipur is what Shashank is asking. टाटा स्काई ब्रॉडबैंड लगवा लो जयपुर में, बढ़िया रहता है. So basically, yes, he's giving you Wi-Fi suggestions, Rohan. So that something that you should take look forward to. Uh, Meda says much positivity today since Rohan is back. Yes, Rohan is back, and that's much positivity.
हम चले जाते हैं, हम सब चले जाते हैं.
To be fair, Manish, after I became a ghost, you did really well to take it forward, and there was some good sarcasm around. So thank you to Manish and V Express.
Yes. Also, Prathamesh, just to add, Manish is our designated V Express Sports host.
Yes,
So he's not
yes.
like Assi. Yeah, he is a professional.
He is a professional
Yes,
indeed,
yes.
and I remember that. I mean, V Express Sports has always had our back. When we have had issues. So thank you so much for that. Uh, Shashank says Shaw and Devdutt both in red hot form. Yes, they are. I mean, and let's not forget there is another guy named Samarth. So he will be in red hot form as well. So that's a little bit of a worry for Mumbai. But yes, SSV Jaiswal got into form today. So
Yeah.
really exciting semi-final to come. Meda is happy about Karnataka being in the semi-final. Yes, this is a semi-final which a team from Karnataka can actually beat a team from Mumbai. So this is going to be worth watching, worth really paying a lot of attention to. Masoom talks about Billings on Pant. I played with him for 2 years when I was at Delhi. I turned to Rahul Dravid and asked, "Who is this kid?" He was smacking Coulter, Morris, Rabada everywhere in the open net. Probably Sam Billings knows now who he is. He's the ICC men's player of the month for January as well. So in case he needs a little more introduction, that is what he is. Shashank says why the final was shifted from Lords. I mean, Nathan, why do you think the final was shifted? Is COVID rising big time in London, or is it because of logistical reasons that Southampton has that hotel inside the stadium, so it makes it slightly easier?
Well, the cases aren't rising. We're actually vaccinating at a very good rate. I believe the Test Championship is it middle of June?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
18th.
18th.
Well, funny enough, on that ends, Boris's idea is that there be no social distancing whatsoever from the 21st. I suspect they don't want any COVID-related incidents, rather than being overcautious. It's more about if someone like, say, Virat gets COVID and then obviously has to sit out for 2 weeks, that will really affect it. And it's probably best for Test cricket that actually to go to a hotel. We've only got 2 hotels on cricket grounds. One's Manchester.
Yeah.
I won't make a comment about originals, but and then we've got Southampton.
Yeah.
But Manchester would have been good.
Manchester would have been good for India, but to be fair, we would rather prefer Southampton too because Manchester is very fast bowling friendly.
Well, I was just having a look actually because I don't really remember many Test matches being played at Southampton. So I just had a quick look at the history. There was 2 drawn with Pakistan last year, which must have been rain affected. I mean, we don't last like 5 days last. Whereas at Lords, the conditions are very much weather related. Yeah. So if it's very dark clouds, the ball swings absolutely everywhere. If it's baking hot sun, even the English batsman probably can survive a full day on that pitch. So I think personally, on a serious note, I know Lords is the home of cricket, but for the conditions and just thinking as a Test fan rather than an Indian or New Zealand fan, I think it will be a better contest at Southampton. So it's probably actually a good move, but it's probably more of a precaution side of we don't want any interference.
Also, it's a quieter city, isn't it? Like obviously, London is the hub of UK, where everything happens. Southampton is more your coastal town where there's not a lot of people always. It's not a rushy areas. If you look at London, it's more crowded. It's more. I mean, there's more possibility that during the travel from the hotel or within the hotel itself, you might still get a little scare of COVID, but probably the 2 stadiums that you mentioned, Nathan, Manchester, and obviously Southampton. Both of them have hotels inside the stadium, so maybe that is an important factor. Plus, the weather at Southampton is slightly more Indian style than it would have been at Manchester, to be fair. So that would help Indians.
I can confirm Manchester weather is nothing like Indians weather. It's about 30 miles from me, and I actually we're doing a quiz with work, and apparently, on average, it rains for 143 days a year in Manchester. Apparently, so I think it's probably a little bit safer to go down south and go to Southampton. Saying that, we'll probably now we're saying it's probably safer. It'll probably rain for 5 days in Southampton and be bright sunshine in Manchester, and you'll have to get the bus up and have no fans.
Yeah. Because New Zealand would be very cautious if again rain or unforeseen circumstances cost them the title. So it's better that you play out an entire test with play being possible for 90 overs on all 5 days, rather than it being affected via rain. So it's better.
Why are we playing in England if we're bothered about it being affected by rain? I mean, you're better in your monsoon season to be playing. I remember when I went to Sri Lanka away in monsoon season, and blimey, I've seen some rain, but I've never seen anything like that. I don't even know how your pitches come back after monsoon. Never mind surviving it.
Yeah, Manish, you had something to add, I believe.
Yeah, I had a question for you and Rohan. Why the hell would you guys prefer Manchester? I mean, 2019, did you guys have already forgotten? मतलब क्यों जाना है वहाँ पे? Like, come on, यार.
कवि का इंसाफ, कवि का इंसाफ.
Like, no, like, why do you want to go back to Manchester and face New Zealand in Manchester? I mean,
we are hoping that Manish, that blue teams are doing well in Manchester right now. So maybe another blue team might just, gun for the title there. Maybe that is the irony of it all. Having said that, City did lose the derby, so I am always there to take that on them.
Just a quick question on that.
Yeah.
That reminds me, doesn't Coley bottle it towards the semi-finals and onwards?
Yeah, but it's
isn't it his last 3 scores in the semi-finals or finals 9-1-1? I think I'll be more worried about your skipper than the pitch.
I like how Nathan's bringing the banter out. Now that he doesn't have to worry about the final. Nathan, I will come back to you. You have an interesting story to tell us. Tejdeep is in the comments. Yeah, Rohan is back finally. Yes, Rohan is back, so that is good. Varun says logistics laws doesn't have hotel nearby, so making a secure bubble is complicated. Yeah, fair enough. Masoom says Smriti Mandhana became the first cricketer to score 10 consecutive scores of 50 plus while chasing. Wow, that's a stat. That is a stat. That is a proper stat. Amit says soft ECB must get priorities right back and dock wages of England stars if they put IPL riches before the country.
I don't think that's a fair comment, because with a T20 World Cup coming around the corner, that's in India, playing one test match against New Zealand in June, that's probably going to be rained off anyway, against playing in a high competitive league in India. So I personally overall think players like Stokes, Archer will be better in the IPL than playing the test match. And we've got loads of bowlers in for English conditions, home track bowlers. So I think that's a bit unfair on the players.
Also, Nathan, I think Peterson could be a good fit for England's T20 World Cup. Looking good.
We'll be saying that when we're 4-1 up, when win the series against you 4-1. You'll all be saying it, we're looking good.
Okay, this is okay, and this comes from a guy who earned money from playing in South Africa during the aperture and still got knighted. Okay, there is a little bit of banter there. According to CricBus, Rahul Chahar likely to be added to the Indian T20 team for the England series. Yes, Varun Chakravarti's fitness has been an issue, so maybe that is the reason why Rahul Chahar might be added. Shashank asks, why isn't Shefali Verma in the team? One of the reasons for Shefali...
No, I know this. I have been following the story. So it's that both Mithali Raj, the captain, and the vice captain Harmanpreet Kaur have come out in the open and said that Shefali Verma will get her chances when the time is right for her. Right now, they are trying a opening combination which has been successful for the past 1-2 years with Smriti Mandhana and Jemima Rodriguez, because it gives them the firepower at the top, and then you have guys like Poonam Raut, Mithali Raj, who can consolidate in the middle order. And Shefali Verma, right now, the Indian team is focusing on her to be the prima facie in the T20 team. But slowly and surely, she'll get chances in the ODI setup as well. And it is clear that both the captain, the vice captain, and the team management, along with the player, know that this is the reason behind not picking her in the squad right now. But they have told her that she is definitely in their plans.
Okay, that's a very good summation of the right there. Smriti Mandhana again. Okay, yes, she becomes the first player to score 50 plus scores in 10 consecutive ODI chases. She scored 50 runs in every ODI chase starting from 2018. That's an amazing stat. And her last 5 ODI innings 63, 66, 74, 14, and 70. Yeah, I think some really, really top class innings.
It's a
And
coincidence
if I'm
that
not wrong, she ended with 80 of 64. So that must be a stat when it actually happened.
so it's
Yes,
actually a coincidence if you see that both 18 jersey number 18s are chase masters.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is really a good coincidence, I must say. Smriti Mandhana and
And
Virat Kohli.
a bad coincidence I could see is like there is no century. There are only half centuries. So that's a bad coincidence.
Good one.
To be fair to Smriti, to be fair to Smriti, the targets haven't
Yeah,
been that she could score 100.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that we should be fair to her.
yeah,
2013 Champions Trophy India,
yeah.
2014 T20 World Cup Sri Lanka. Then he goes on about the last 6 men's tournaments have had different winner. Wonder if the trend will continue. Okay, that's interesting. But that would be interesting to see whether New Zealand can actually do the job. Tammy Beaumont and Ravi Ashwin won the ICC Player of the Month award for February 2021. Yes, fantastic month for Tammy Beaumont. Obviously, she played really well down in New Zealand. And Ravi Ashwin, who I'm pretty sure Nathan, when he goes to sleep, sees him every night in his wildest dreams. And here comes Ravi Ashwin in Chennai batting and scoring
And
100, and then here he comes
yeah,
again at Motera and in Chennai and again at Motera, spinning England out. And I'm pretty sure Johnny Bairstow sees a lot of him as well, doesn't he, Nathan? Like you literally just that last wicket, I just can't justify Bairstow's wicket in the second innings of the last test. I mean, why did he even come out to bat for that? That was so difficult for everyone who watched to digest that, wasn't it? Like it was so.
Luckily, I wasn't watching, and I still haven't seen it myself. Did he get bowled?
No, he just
walked. At least it's something different.
Something different. Yeah, he just walked in and he just realized the ball is spinning, so I might just will try to flick it, and he flicked it straight in the hands of leg slip. And that is how he got out. And he showed no intention of walking and trying to defend himself or anything. He just wanted to react to the ball basically. And
it wasn't
unfortunately,
Prathamesh, I don't think Nathan wanted to hear all the explanation that you gave about Bairstow's dismissal. I don't think he wanted to listen that.
But yeah.
To be fair to Nathan, Nathan has been like me and Nathan have been in this Johnny Bairstow bold conversation for quite a while, and we've been exchanging instances of where he gets bold and how he gets bold. So that is a new thing for him, and he's happy about that, Nathan. And he's actually looking forward to Bairstow in the white ball series, because with the white ball, he's a different player.
Yeah, at least Nathan is happy that Bairstow got out playing with his bat and not getting bowled or LBW. So it's better. He's getting better at it. Now, in the future instances, he'll use his bat to get out.
Well, he's gone from 85% dismissals by leg or bowled to 81. He's progressing very nicely.
Yes.
I just hope it does not come to bite us back, in the white ball series where we just see too much of Johnny Bairstow. This.
Oh yeah, he's a friend of mine now.
We'll think about it later. अभी तो enjoy करना भाई, बाद में सोचेंगे.
Yes, we'll think about it later. No worries.
Yeah.
Amit says most matches in the women's international cricket: 310 for Mithali Raj, 309 for Charlotte Edwards, 262 for Julian Goswami, 259 for Jenny Gunn, and 251 for Alex Blackwell. Really, I mean, Julian Goswami, she just defies everything. We were talking about it, Nathan. Julian actually made her international debut before James Anderson. So that is the longevity of Nathan can't imagine something like that, but yeah, it's been incredible. Longest ODI careers, 22 years and 91 days, Sachin Tendulkar, 21 years and 254 days, Mithali Raj, 21 years and 184 days, Sanat Jayasuriya, and 20 years, 272 days, Javed Miandar. What a company for Mithali Raj to have. I mean,
Yeah,
Tendulkar,
and
Jayasuriya,
she'll
Miandar.
probably
She'll
go
probably beat
like
Sachin. Yeah.
yeah, because she'll be playing until the 2022
Yeah.
Women's ODI World Cup at least.
Yeah.
She'll play
So
before
that.
I started school.
Naman
Bloody hell.
Oja out. He says India Legends have absolutely no hope now. India Legends do have hope. 15 runs in 4 balls, so we'll be following that. Today was the day when Bangladesh knocked out England in the 2015 World Cup. Okay, we are opening some scars that we didn't think we would be opening, but okay. Good job, Pawan. Mandana and Raut posting an unbeaten 138 partnership being the highest for India against South Africa in this edition. Yes. Okay, the admins have decided to take notice of the fact that Rohan is back and everyone seems to be happy. Nathan, your fan club probably, they are going to be massively overpowered by Rohan Gulati fan club. So it's been a while since both of you have been there at the same time. So I'm interested to see who wins this battle. England's best spinner playing in Raipur instead of Ahmedabad, Monty Panessa. Thoughts, Nathan? Okay, Nathan, what are your thoughts on this? Because let's read Panessa's figures. They were interesting figures today from what he has taken in the Legends game. Obviously, Monty Panessa's figures read 4 overs, 1 maiden, 15 runs, and 3 wickets.
Yeah, so if you see, Prathamesh, just before Nathan says, so England's best batter and bowler are currently playing in Raipur, where they should have been playing in Ahmedabad.
Nathan, you care to react on that?
I've always thought it was the second best after Graham Swan.
Graham Swan is in the commentary. Graham Swan is in the commentary panel. Poor guy couldn't play.
I wonder, yeah, you probably get a few of your actual batsmen out. No wonder he's not allowed to play in the Legends game. He actually, obviously in the 2013 World Ashes, when Graham Swan went home, a lot of rumours came out about him. He was actually quite seriously injured with his shoulder. So if his shoulder's back to normal, I'll take him before Jack Leach. Then I'll take Monty if his shoulder's not so good.
Okay, we will rush through a few comments and then we will talk about the Vijay Hazare Trophy. That was a splendid action tonight in the Vijay Hazare Trophy. Third century for Prithvi Shaw in the Vijay Hazare Trophy, and all 3 occasions he stayed unbeaten. 105 of 89 versus Delhi, 227 of 152 versus Pondicherry, and 185 today of 123 balls against Saurashtra. So Prithvi Shaw is racking up some huge numbers, and that's a really interesting one. Shaw's 185 is now the highest individual score by an Indian in the run chase, going past Mahendra Singh Dhoni's 183 and Virat Kohli's 183 against Sri Lanka and Pakistan. The tables have turned. Rohan and his team sitting comfortably, and Manish. Tables have turned since over as we were the last time. Yes. फिर से आ गया ना ये. That's the thing. Okay. Varun says Irfan Pathan OP. Yes, Irfan Pathan is OP. But it doesn't. I don't know what is happening with the game right now.
Yeah.
Varun says Laurie Hotel in Manchester. That's where the Manchester United team stays. I'm not sure whether it's close to the Manchester ground or anything, but that's where.
0.7 miles.
Okay, that's fair enough.
It's literally on the same road, hence him having the same name ground.
Okay, and we can probably confirm that Indian Legend needs 8 runs and 1 ball, so I don't think they're winning this game anyway. But I think a sensational comeback by the Indian Legends team after being 56 for 5, and that was a long way away, and they are now 181 for 7. Manpreet Goni 15 balls 34, Irfan Pathan 34 balls 61. They did really well to take this game close, but unfortunately, even if Mr. Goni were to hit a 6 with the last ball, unless it is a no ball, it will be England Legends who would have won the game, and deservedly so probably. Indian Legends, it's over? It is over. So yeah. England have won in India. England have won in India. Good news for you,
Finally.
Nathan.
Congrats,
We're going to win in the 1 days
congratulations.
anyway.
Sending my wishes.
Yes, best average in women's ODIs is 2018. Smriti Mandhana is at 67.6, Elise Perry at 60, and Meg Lanning at 56.6. Considering where Elise Perry plays, that's an incredible average. I mean, and she's always there when Australia needs her, so that is brilliant as well. Smriti is there when India needs her, so yeah, that's fair. Varun, it should have been Manchester. At least one title would have been lifted by a favorite team at Old Trafford. Oh yeah, we will not go there, Varun, right now. Let's let's
No,
let's
no.
throw back to let's
Let
throw
us
back to
enjoy the
8 years.
Derby victory.
Yeah, let us enjoy that. Jemima Rodriguez in ODIs in the last 3 years, 18 matches, average of 22.5, strike rate of 71.4. Should we be worried? Okay, probably not. Jemima is a top talent and we have to give her time. And so is the case with the next one, Shefali Verma. She is in the ranks to make her debut. But it's good that we have such talented players. Jemima can also bat at three. So we've seen that happen before, and she's a really explosive batsman in the later stages of the game. Manish is stuck, guys. Do something. His team is also stuck. Okay. All the comments then are basically live updates from the game between India Legends and England Legends. I will just try to find. Okay. Today is the 25th year anniversary of Venkatesh Prasad and Amir Sohail moment in the 1996 World
Oh,
Cup.
ho, ho, ho,
Wow,
ho.
that's a proper throwback. I mean,
Venkatesh
that's a
Prasad
really
OP.
nice throwback. Venkatesh Prasad
Dhumkana man.
OP. Nathan, your fan club's here. Ryan is here. Ryan, your mate is here. Nathan, my G. Okay, this is proper happiness here. Joss on the IPL. It's a huge draw for players. It's usually beneficial not only to individuals but also to the England cricket side. Joss Butler says a big feather in the cap that 12 players were in demand this year to play in the world's biggest tournament. So he agrees to that. If India win the T20s, can we get a dance with his Lancashire Lightning hat on? Oh, probably that and your Rajasthan Royals kit on. I mean, that would be really nice. A
Well, you won't win
proper
it
combo.
anyway, so don't worry about it.
And he also says, Josh Butler, that is the obvious benefits are players' improvement. You learn skills, experiences you gain, especially when the T20 World Cup is played in India. And he agrees, Nathan, with what you said. Probably because the T20 World Cup is in India, the IPL becomes even more crucial. Nathan says easy beating your legends. Fair enough, fair enough.
Legend. Legends.
I like the fact that after the first test in Chennai, Nathan finally has a smile on his face. So I mean he has a smile on his face to be fair, but this is more genuine. This is more passionate smile that he has on his face. Josh Butler also says India is strong in all formats and that in T20 there is no difference, especially playing at home. They are favorites for the upcoming T20 World Cup. Yes, they are, and they are demanding a dance from Nathan is Nathan Barkley fan club. Okay, we will come back to Nathan Barkley and a story from Nathan later, but a little bit on the Vijay Hazare Trophy today because I mean, as a Mumbai fan and as a Mumbaiker myself, I don't think I can get past Prithvi Shaw's 185. I'm gutted that most of India couldn't watch it live. That was a little difficult, but in spite of that, to
Yeah.
him, massive credits. First of all, to playing that innings when Mumbai had lost their captain in Shreyas Iyer to the Indian squad. Obviously, Shreyas Iyer, Surya Kumar Yadav, so two major players there that went to the Indian team setup, and there were questions whether this team now is good enough to win, and I think Prithvi Shaw himself ensured that this team is good enough to win. Now the next challenge for Mumbai is Karnataka, and that will be one tough challenge because Devdutt Padikkal and Ravi Kumar Samarth, if they don't score 250 runs opening the batting, that is when you actually have a chance. So that is that is the run of form they are in right now. Saurashtra batted first against Mumbai and scored 284 for five. It was Shams Mulani who took two wickets. It was Tushar Deshpande was the most expensive bowlers, 9 overs for 62. Prashant took 39 for one. My best friend was the most economical bowler. So that's good. A little bit of joy there as well. But Saurashtra bowling was absolutely clobbed everywhere. They used nine bowlers. Probably shows how much Prithvi Shaw and Yashasvi Jaiswal are going after them. Shaw with 123 ball 185, and he just keeps knocking on the door or trying to break the door. But this is just something brilliant to watch. Aditya Tare, helped, and basically they got over the line. So that was a good victory for Mumbai. Coming to the next one, that was Delhi versus Uttar Pradesh. In many ways, I call it the Kushagra derby because he loves to support both those teams. So, so why not call it the Kushagra derby? So yeah, that is what it is. Uttar Pradesh batted first, and it was Upendra Yadav who scored 112 of 101 balls. Karan Sharma, the captain, scored 83 of 100, and they reached 280. They are also missing Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. They also did not get a high score today from PM Garg, so they played well and did well. Pradeep Sangwan took 2 wickets for Delhi, and then while batting, it was only Himmat Singh and Lalit Yadav who put contributions of some sort. Anuj Rawat played well for his 47 as well, but at the end of the day, it was Uttar Pradesh who won by 46 runs, and they will play Gujarat in the semi-final. That semi-final is going to be played at the new Arun Jaitley Stadium, or the newly named Arun Jaitley Stadium, whereas the Mumbai versus Karnataka semi-final is going to play at Palam Ground. I don't know whether it's going to be broadcasted because the matches that happen at Palam usually don't get broadcasted. And yes. Anurag is here, and Anurag is here in the background, and he has some good news to share with us. I hope, yeah, I'm not sure who let the dogs out, but yeah, they've been let out and they've been barking for quite a while. That's really good to see that they're enjoying their night along with us. We have done the interview with Mr. Norcross, and it will be out tomorrow. He is a commentator on the Test Match Special, so please go ahead and tune in about that. We will be releasing the interview tomorrow at 5 p.m. and that is simply brilliant for us. I joined in the conversation for a couple of minutes, and he's such a lovely guy to talk to. Someone who is pretty much like all of us. We are just cricket fans, and he's another cricket fan. A very good writer. Started with obviously the Test match sofa, which we never heard in India a lot. Probably never even heard about it in India at all. But then his progression has been so good to see. I read his article with where he interviewed, I think it was Darren Lehman in 2010, and this was about Darren Lehman's academy and how different it was in considered. I mean, Darren Lehman in an interview mentions that I would be disappointed if my guys can't hold a beer. So that is how Darren Lehman run his academy, and a lot of players from his academy made to the IPL as well. So that was an interview, and it was a very funny interview as well. He was a stand-up comedian too, so he's done quite a few things. And for the rest of it, do tune into the Sports Doyen tomorrow at 5 p.m. where we release an interview with Mr. Norcross. Okay, coming back to Nathan, and we also have the Legends match to discuss and the rest of the things as well. But we have Nathan who is going to share an interesting story with us. He will tell you about his time when he met with Sophie Eccleston. Nathan, what is that story about?
Well, I'll start with the pit of had a few beers. When I say a few too many. And I was on my way to watch Lancashire in a T20 game on the train. And me and my mate were just on there. And I follow England women's cricket, but not religiously or anything. And I recognised Sophie Eccleston. And she was with a partner, apparently. I don't remember seeing a partner, but I walked up to her and just started trying to chat with her. And it turned out I tried to flirt with her a little bit on the train. with a fella right next to her. And apparently it was absolutely horrendous.
I'm pretty sure there wasn't a few beers, More than a few.
The few part is the bit that's negotiable, I think, of how many was in the system.
Nathan, just a question. Have you joined? Have you been a part of Darren Lehman Cricket Academy?
I didn't catch that.
He's asking whether you are part of Darren Lehman's Cricket Academy. Okay. I mean, for Nathan to be asked whether he was a part of a cricket academy by an Aussie, that is a little bit of banter in there itself. But yeah, I think Nathan, that's quite an anecdote. I mean, as fans, I remember one time when I met Surya Kumar Yadav, that was special for me. I'm pretty sure all of these guys have their anecdotes as well, and it's
Yes.
interesting because as fans, you always look up to players and you want to meet them, and you think you will talk about 100 things with them, and then when they're actually there, you just kind of zone out and you just freeze out. So Nathan, kudos to you. Actually tried something that could have worked for you, but unfortunately, we are where we are.
Yeah, it like you are caught off guard if you don't expect to find someone. Like if you
Yeah,
meet sporting personalities at unexpected locations and
yeah,
at times where you are not in the right
Yeah,
mood or in the right like you can say in the right position to meet them, you will be caught off guard and you will be
yeah,
starstruck for a moment. So it happened with me as well. Like I was
yeah,
in an academy, I was practicing for a local game, and some girl walked in wearing the English jersey. So I was like, "Who is she?" A lady wearing the English cricket team jersey, and turns out she was Mithali Raj and she was practicing there. And when I went to her, I told her, "Hi, ma'am, big fan," and I walked away. So that is why, because I was starstruck. I couldn't say anything to her.
Probably
yeah.
I
better
said,
than what
"Hi,
I
ma'am,
said
big
to
fan," and I
Sophie.
walked away.
but I'm but I can imagine what Prathamesh will say. Hi, ma'am. Will you be interested for an interview with the sports Doyen? Thank you. Ma'am, I'll send you the Zoom link in a few.
To be fair, that's Anurag's forte, not mine. So yeah, I mean, I would still try, but I think I'm pretty sure Anurag will come up with the interview. So that's his forte. Interesting story. This was in 2016. I was interning with the Taj Hotels, and I was doing my night shift. I was very very pissed that I have to work at night. And in early in the morning, I was called to serve tea to a guest room, and that was my last order. I just went and I served tea. A kid opened the door. I walked in and I served tea, and the guest asked me, would you mind pouring the tea for me?" And I said, okay. And as interns, you're not allowed to carry your phones. And I was serving tea to him. I realized that gentleman is
Yeah.
Mr. Rahul Dravid, and I was like,
Wow.
wow, this is crazy. I wish I had my phone. But yes, that was a really heartwarming day. The
Also,
whole
Prathamesh,
frustration of
yeah,
night shift
Ah,
went
just
away.
to add, yeah, sorry, but my data pack is finished, so life might end very soon. So I'll go ekdam se. Just to add, कि
Yeah.
ekdam se I will disconnect
So
to all
basically,
my
Rohan,
fans
you will
and my
you will make a
teammates
stunning
here.
exit. You will make a stunning exit, is what you're saying. Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
sorry, I met Michael
yeah, you
Vaughan in
can.
Australia, and I said to him, I said, "You're a better captain than Pundit." I forgot all about it just till you started talking about them. And I'd gone to my friend's hotel, and they were in there with Graham Swan and somebody else. And I just remember saying that, and he just went, "Cheers, mate." Then I said something to Swan, but I can't remember what I said to Swan.
Okay, so we do have a couple more matches in our agenda that we have to discuss. The West Indies Sri Lanka one day starts tomorrow, and the other Afghanistan Zimbabwe test, which I hope doesn't end in a couple of days again, will start tomorrow. So there are a few pressing points. It's not in India, Nathan. You can be a little less subtle about it, but yeah, okay. It's not in India. It is in the UAE. So this is not our fault, to be honest. This is not the pitch's fault. Just a couple more comments that I would like to take. Nathan, technically it's Asia 3, England 3 as I see it. So yeah, he's in. He's there for your support. TSD ads, they should have telecasted all the quarterfinals at least. Yes, TSD, I can agree to that. And I wish they had telecasted, especially what happened today with Prithvi Shaw. India since 2017 while chasing 4.2 wins per loss, defending 1.6 wins per loss. So that's a good one. Good start, especially while chasing. Shaw could have got another 200 if the target was more than 300. I won't bet against it. The way he was playing, if Mumbai would have batted first, he would have beaten that 227 score of his. That is almost a certainty. Anurag Pisara fan club is here. Where is Anurag? Anurag is missing. Anurag is actually there in the background, but we are not able to get him in. Amay says Shaw and Padikkal to be the future of Indian opening in limited format cricket. And let's not forget two gentlemen named Mayank Agarwal and Shubman Gill. So that's quite a competition here. We are genuinely looking forward to that. Uh, so yeah, talking about Shaw and Padikkal, yes, it won't be broadcasted. It was Shivam says yes, the match won't be broadcasted at all. That's really sad. That's the Mumbai versus Karnataka game. Anurag says he's here. So Anurag Pesara is here, is what he says. Nathan, so it all started with a beer. Me thinking yes because no great story started ever with milk.
He's got a point.
Amit asks, comment on the beer story, Anurag Pisara. I'm pretty sure Anurag will drop in with a comment whenever is possible. And he has. Beer was nice. Boys played well, not easy. Okay. Shivam Patak says Dhoni returns trending on Twitter. Yeah, that is because he's joined the CSK camp and he's training and he's doing quite well. Navjeevan says Dhoni is back. Rohan is back with a bang. So is Dhoni, to be fair. Comment of the day: yes, Rohan is back with a bang. Murlidharan said hi to me at the Brave Stadium while collecting my media ID card. A brief one, but he did say hi to a lot of people. Lovely man. Yes, he is. He is genuinely a lovely man. Probably in a football podcast, I will talk about how I met a couple of players who I absolutely idolize on, but not here.
Yeah,
Amit Dubey says Rohan ka net package allowance badao yaar. Yes, that's the plan. That's the plan. Manish is already getting his recharge done. I can see it from the background. So yeah, Manish is working on that. Ahil talks about Ishan Kishan. Ishan Kishan koi update hai kya bhaiya? Ahil, every time that I've read your comment, it has been about Ishan Kishan, and I can see that you're a massive Ishan Kishan fan, and so am I. So Ishan Kishan's update is that he is in the T20 squad, but probably in the first two T20Is, we might not get to see Ishan Kishan. If India do win the first couple of T20Is or the first three T20Is, we might see Ishan Kishan. Having said that, it won't be a surprise if he walks in the first T20I opening the batting. It won't be a surprise because Indian team management can throw surprises. We've seen that with Washington Sundar in the pink ball test of late. So why not? Anurag says खुद के lunch package का allowance नहीं है उसका net का allowance क्यों दो? Okay, that's fair. So coming to West Indies versus Sri Lanka, yes, a pressing issue that because we saw a very interesting T20 series between West Indies and Sri Lanka. The one-day match starts tomorrow at 7 p.m. IST on the 10th of March. So that's tomorrow. So do tune into that. We might get the match on Sony Sports. Sony Pay Dikhega, as they like to show that. So we will be watching the game there. But coming to the squads, and Kieran Pollard is the West Indian captain. Shai Hope will be there. Fabian Allen, Darren Bravo, Jason Holder, Alzari Joseph, Evan Lewis, Kyle Myers, Jason Mohammed, Nicholas Puran, Kevin Sinclair, and Romario Shepherd. The match will be at Antigua, so that is where the game will happen. Sri Lanka will also be looking forward to, Dimut Karunaratne is the captain. Ashen Bandara, who played well in the last T20I. Dushmanta Chamira will be there. Dinesh Chandimal is a wicketkeeper. Akila Dhananjaya, De Silva, Niroshan Dikwela, Ashita Fernando, Ushada Fernando, Danushka Gunathilaka, Suranga Lakmal is here. Angelo Matthews, Ramesh Mendes, Kamindu Mendes, but no Ajanta. That's interesting reading two Mendes names and not followed by Ajanta. Tisara Pereira, Nuwan Pradeep, Lakshan Sandikan, and Darshan Sanaka is there. So yeah, interesting teams between. I mean, the squads look pretty even Stevens in many ways. West Indies obviously they are very good in T20s. They're rising as a test team, but the one day setup is still a very curious thing because that is where West Indies sometimes I feel don't have the idea to actually what to do in those 50 overs. Sometimes they just bat 30, 35 overs and end up scoring 250, 260 and they get all out. Otherwise, the 50 overs just ends with a lower score or somewhere around 220, 230 and they take it a little too slowly. Afzal, what do you expect from this West Indies setup? Obviously, they've won a very, very closely fought T20 series, and this will be important to them equally before we can move into the later Test series that will be happening as well. So, how important is this series if you're a West Indian fan, and what would you expect of this team?
So first of all, the T20 series was a good success for the West Indies team because they had some of the players returning back into the setup. They want to finalize their squad for the T20 World Cup that is about to happen in October, November. So it is good that the West Indies team has started to perform well. They have got their combination right, and probably the guys that were involved in the series, we'll see almost most of them in the final 15 for the T20 World Cup. And considering that the ODI format isn't that much important right now, it is the least preferred one, considering that you have a tournament later in 2023 and not sometime around in the next coming year. So most teams wouldn't be focusing too much of their energy on the ODI format. But West Indies as a setup, they need that anchor. They need to find someone to play that anchor role who can play a Poonam Raut-esque innings, which she did today, just to hold up one end, rotate the strikes. If even if you play with a strike rate of 70, 80, it'll be okay. So someone like a Darren Bravo plays that role perfectly because you have explosive hitters all around. You have your explosive openers. You have guys in the middle order who can take the game away from you, like Pollard. You have finishers. You have Jason Holder who can bat so that your tail is long. But you need that one person, that one missing piece in the entire jigsaw puzzle. That could be Darren Bravo who can play sensibly. So that is one thing that I'm expecting from West Indies. Another thing that I'm expecting is Kyle Myers. He did well in the Test series, and I am hoping to see more of him in the ODI setup as well, because he
Yeah.
is he is a prospect, and in future if West Indies are to perform at a higher stage in the World Cup, then Kyle Myers can be their X factor.
Yeah, Myers definitely did impress a lot in Bangladesh. That stunning double hundred to take West Indies home in the Test match. I hope Nathan, Little Englishman, would have also watched that game. Yeah, I mean, he would have taken something out of Kyle Myers' innings. But unfortunate as that was a stunning innings in any way. Manish, talking. There's just a little bit of banter, Nathan. Just don't mind that. We just had the English Legends team that lost to the England Legends team. Yes, you're right when you comment about this, Nathan. This is the England Legends have a 1-0 lead over the Indian Legends. So, having seen that comment, I just wanted to throw a little bit of salt around as well. That Kyle Myers was a leaf that you could have picked up. But Manish, coming to you, Sri Lanka has been a quite interesting story over the last few years because there's a lot of dependence when it comes to batting, when it comes to Dinesh Chandimal, Angelo Matthews, probably even Karuna Ratne. And these three players, if they don't perform, the Sri Lankan batting usually goes haywire. Isn't it time players like Dikwela step up and actually score runs as well? Someone like Kusal Pereira, a lot is expected of him. He's not here as well in the series, of course, but a lot is expected of him. But he sometimes he's a hit, sometimes he's a miss. There are players like obviously Ashain Bandara who played well in the last game. Someone, don't you think these youngsters or these upcoming players should probably take more of responsibility now? Or is it about evolving your team around players like Chandimal, like Matthews? Because Matthews has been playing for eternity for Sri Lanka now, and it's highly difficult to see him play beyond the 23 World Cup even. So, what do you think Sri Lanka's objectives could be based on the current state that they are in? Manish, can you hear me? Okay, Manish is not
I
able
don't
to
know,
hear.
there's some audio issue with them.
There is some audio issue with him. Afzal, would you be willing to take this one?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the Sri Lanka team has been in the revamping phase for a quite long time now. I guess the issue that they face is because their cricket is controlled by the government, and the sports minister has a big say in the affairs of the Sri Lankan Cricket Board, and their domestic structure needs a little bit more of a boost because they don't have a strong domestic structure. They don't play too many A games, too many games in overseas conditions to test their bench strength, and they directly slot them into the ODI setup and the international setup, and it becomes difficult for them to come into the side, perform at the highest level. And if they don't, They are just pushed out of the team and they are out of the reckoning. So that is one thing where Sri Lanka cricket needs to get their job right. Also, they need to get their ex-players back into the administration and into management, into coaching roles. They had Chaminda Was, but because of the pay dispute, he left his role just a few days before the series started.
Yeah.
So that is where their actually the domestic setup needs a bit more focus upon. They need to have right people to do the right job. And the only positive that I saw of the entire T20 series was Vanindu Hasaranga. The way that
Yeah.
guy has bowled, he has showed that he can be a man who can take Sri Lanka to greater heights in international cricket. They need to nurture him, they need to play him well, they need to manage him well. Because Sri Lanka cricket has spinners who come in, but they don't manage their guys very well. We saw Akila Dhananjaya just burst onto the scene in 2016, 2017. Then he had an injury and then he was just completely out. And now he
Yeah.
doesn't look the same Akila Dhananjaya. So Sri Lanka cricket needs to manage their players well. And I won't be surprised if Vanindu Hasaranga will be picked in the IPL or in future T20 leagues as a replacement or as a first choice spinner, because he has been attracting the eyes of team owners, and team management support staff from across the world. So it won't be a surprise if we see him in future T20 leagues from now onwards.
Yeah, and obviously, what happened in the series versus West Indies will be a cue for a lot of franchise cricket teams, because what we saw from Hasaranga was really wonderful to watch. So, yeah, Manish, you were saying something?
Yeah, so I lost you in between. Sorry about that. But I was just wanted to add on what Afzal said about the West Indies team first. He was absolutely bang on about the team combination and having someone in the middle to hold that innings. Who's like a glue, because they have so many people who can just come in and talk it out. And Afzal mentioned a name, if I'm not wrong, Darren Bravo, who's going to be an important
Yeah,
one. Another name is for me is going to be Shai Hope, who's now the vice captain of the
yes,
team. There will be much more responsibility on that guy's shoulders, and he has considerably done well in the 50 over edition. So he is something that I'm really looking forward to in this series, how he performs, because he is the guy in the middle along with Darren Bravo, who's has the ability to take this team going forward. Every team has one of those strong pillars around which you build your batting unit. Shai Hope is one of those guys which I believe can take up on that responsibility. And in terms of the West Indies bowling setup, lots of new names. Alzari Joseph is the only one that I'm very familiar with. But again, something that they're going to be in the build-up phase. Talking about the Sri Lankan team, Abdul was bang on with having a good domestic structure. And we've been following Sri Lankan cricket for so long. We've been following cricket for so long. With every team, you just have some identity. You think about New Zealand, you think about 4 or 5 key names. This is where the core is. You think about Australia, same goes for them. It's been like the last 3 4 years, we haven't been able to do that with someone like a Sri Lanka team. You know,
yeah,
Angela Mathews has been playing for so long. Is the only one that we recognize. Kushal Mendes is there. Is another one who comes to my mind. But
Chandimal is one more
Dinesh
guy.
Chandimal is there. Yeah,
Ganesh Chandimal again. But apart from that, there hasn't been good enough players. I mean, with all due respect to Angelo Matheus, he has to pass the baton on to someone. But that is the problem with the Sri Lankan side. There hasn't been good enough players that have been coming from the domestic setup, and what? Let's take that responsibility and keep moving forward. And in a way, I feel very hopeless for the Sri Lankan cricket. I hope they do well, because they have been one of the giants of you know in the Asian circuit as well and in the world circuit. So I hope this series is somewhere the start that they need to build a better future for their sake and for the world cricket sake.
yeah,
Because
and
Sri Lanka has been trendsetters, right? They were the guys like the spin revolution. They had their spinners who could hold up
Exactly.
their game. They
yeah,
were the trendsetters when it came to the introduction of the power play, because I remember
yes,
Jayasuriya and Kaluruvitana just tonking in the first 15 overs, taking the game away from opposition. So now
yeah,
if you see the Sri Lankan cricket and you compare them with the golden days,
Yeah.
Even in 2011, 2014 when they won the T20 World Cup,
Yeah.
and if you compare that side to right now, it feels like Sri Lanka cricket is in shambles. They need to get their act right, and they need to come back, and we need a strong Sri Lankan team if the modern game to make it more competitive.
Exactly.
Okay, that's and I mean best wishes to our neighbors. I hope that Shy Hope doesn't get their hopes down in the series and they're able to pull off something miraculous in the West Indies. The Caribbean countries always been a tough spot for teams to go and perform really well. West Indies at home, at least in the shorter version of the game these days, do have a certain element of stronghold there. So the hope is that Sri Lanka can do something here. I will take a few comments and I will come to Nathan. I want to talk a little bit about the English bowling and how it could go forward in this T20 series before we actually wrap up for the day. Anurag says, "खुद के lunch का package allowance नहीं है तो उसका क्यों दूं?" Yes, fair enough, Anurag.
Yeah,
The only thing you expect from West Indies in T20s go boom or bust. There is no in between. There isn't, and to be fair, the way the West Indies T20 setup is lined up, they have batsmen until number 8 and number 9 who can do that. So, why you might always just trust it and go ahead with it. Anurag says, "Egg dinner is what Atul says." Yes, Atul, thank you so much. I'm pretty sure Anurag says that from my side. Uh, Amit says, "Rebuilding phase of Sri Lanka is like asking a teenager to behave responsibly. Never going to happen. I've given up on them." That's really sad to hear, Amit, because I mean, and I think a lot of world fans echo your sentiments because Sri Lanka has been a team that has to be in the evolution stage, but it isn't happening for them for a long time. And the hope is that they actually do well. Boring day in terms of cricket today, waiting for India versus England T20s and IPL. I wouldn't go as far as to say it was a boring day because we saw a really, really good one day match between India and South Africa. I know we didn't get to see the Prithvi Shaw innings, but it was wonderful. The people who caught the match between UP and Delhi, that was also an interesting affair for quite a while. Obviously, the Legends game, it was interesting. We didn't get to watch it live, but following the scores itself, it shows how interesting it could have been. After 56 for 5 to throw in a fight and go up to 181, that was quite a recovery from the team. Shai Hope, तो कुछ दिनों से भूल ही गए थे. Yes. Shai Hope is someone I think a lot of people tend to forget, but he's there. He's one of those invisible guys in a superstar team, and he is going to be key in this series for West Indies.
Superstar.
Shashank, yeah, I mean these are T20 stars, right? They're gelled together
Yeah.
and blended together. So that is where Shai Hope goes a little missing. We don't really recognize or remember him in the first instance when you talk about West Indies. But yes, it is a superstar team to be fair in the T20 format at least. We seem to have lost Nathan for a while. We'll try to get him back. Uh, Shashank adds in the comments, reserve players RCB, Kes Ahmed and Martin Gaptill, MI, Kenzie Nagal and spinner, and Glenn Phillips. He adds CSK to uncapped Sri Lankan pacers, names never heard of, and KKR have Siddesh Lad and Isuru Udana. So these are players that have basically signed as backups or named as backups rather for when their players get injured or not able to join the tournament. That is what Shashank claims. We'll try to get back on that.
yeah,
Amit says, truth is Sri Lankan cricket has fallen off a cliff. Clive Lloyd used to see without a direction, 10 guys thrown together is a gang, not a team. Yes, he used to say that, Clive Lloyd, and that is exactly what has happened with Sri Lankan cricket team. Angelo Matthews was a prodigal son who was going to give them direction and gave up midway. To be fair to Matthews, when he started, he had the likes of Muralidharan, he had Sangakaras and the Jayavardhanes, probably even Jayasurya when he started. And the kind of players that he plays with now, I think it was always going to be difficult for Angelo Matthews. He's given his best, but then I think there are more deeper problems that lie within the Sri Lankan circuit. The rest four teams will soon announce the reserve players. Okay, these players will replace ASAP in case someone gets injured. Okay, this is what we want to talk about. Actually, this is an interview
yeah.
that got released today, Nathan. Stokes lost 5 kgs, Anderson lost 3, Crawley 4. Also, Leach and Sibley did lose something he mentioned during the fourth test in Ahmedabad. Archer and Stokes might withdraw their names from this year's IPL, is what we are hearing as rumors. I'm not sure how much of that is correct, but I'm pretty sure Nathan will be disappointed. He just got his Rajasthan Royals jersey delivered to England. That would be really unfortunate for him. Nathan, what is this about? I mean, yeah, Ben Stokes did say in an interview that a lot of players lost weight. It was difficult to deal with the heat and the extreme conditions that were along with the bio bubble in Ahmedabad. What do you make of that? I mean, is this something that an England cricket team could use to come out and say, or is this something that could genuinely be an issue considering the extreme differences in weather, which, if you talk about England right now and what it is in Ahmedabad?
Well, how do I sign up? I need to lose a few kilos. Well, that is a thing, but obviously that you should be used to it though, really, and just eat more food, I guess. Make sure you get more. You obviously need more nutrition, so to deal with the weather of India, so like your carbohydrates, etc. But I'm sure if you put more carbs in and more water, you should be able to balance it. I've not heard anything about him dropping out. It might mean Livingston gets a start if Ben Stokes doesn't play, so not much of a loss to me that. But aren't all IPL games at night as well, so it's not going to be majority of it. So it's a little bit cooler for him then.
Yeah, it is. It is cooler, comparatively cooler, especially probably if you're playing in Chennai. Evening times are heaven because you don't want to be playing in the day in Chennai.
I'm just thinking as well the humidity as well. Would that probably be a bit lower at night as well?
Humidity would be slightly lower as well. Yes, it is usually very high in the day, and especially in cities like the coastal cities, rather Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, where you're very far near to the coast, the humidity is extreme. But whereas you talk about Rajasthan, where the matches are not happening, so that's safer. But when you go to Delhi, where the humidity is extremely low and it's going to be extremely hot during the IPL, so there are differences in there is heat everywhere, but it's just that at some places there is humidity, but at some place there isn't. So maybe that is something that is playing into these players' minds.
But I personally would see how you go, because if you start off and then you start coming on well, because I think these must be the players that had a stomach bug as well, so they probably have not eaten much food in those couple of days, which will probably have left them to probably lost more muscle than they actually did anything else, just because they've had the stomach bug. But if they want to come home and play for England, I'm more than happy for that. So I'm in a win-win situation.
Yeah, that is indeed a no-win situation. Let's take a last few comments and wrap up. Sri Lankan players who are CSK reserve played in the Abu Dhabi T10 League and were amazing.
I just got a question on them, Sri Lanka. A couple of years ago, I used to really like Dick Weller. I thought he was a cracking player. What's going on with him in the last couple of years? Because he doesn't seem to have hit his potential to the point I thought he would do in a couple of years' time from then.
To be fair, Nathan, that's been a case with a lot of Sri Lankan players over the last 3-4 years. And Dekwela, obviously, we saw him in the Test series against England as well, the wicketkeeper. He's got a lot of talent. So has Kushal Mendes and Kushal Pereira. A lot of players who are really talented in the setup. The problem is, Nathan, that with Sri Lanka, first of all, there has been a huge lack of clarity in terms of which direction they are going. When you look at England, right, they are white ball specialist team and they are developing as a test side. With India, India are almost very, very difficult to beat at home. India are good in the one day and the test format. T20s is always up and down, but these two formats, India are very good. They've been consistently the best. With Australia, I don't know what to say, but yeah, with New Zealand at home, they are an excellent team. So yeah, we have identities with teams now. With Sri Lanka, that has been missing for quite a while, and that is one of the reasons why, again, all of these questions about where the leadership is heading, how much longer does Angelo Matthews have to, go through all of this and keep doing all of that things. With Dick Vela and with a lot of players, for them the issue has also been they haven't been able to visit the best of countries and regularly play cricket and regularly play high intensity, high level cricket. So that is another reason why these players probably haven't become the stars that we expected them to be in to be the breakthrough players for Sri Lanka. Having said that, these players still have it in them, and probably the West Indies series is the kickoff of something special. And we almost saw something special being pulled off in the second T20, and even in the third, if it wasn't for Fabian Allen. So there are hopes, Nathan, and I think I'm sure Sri Lankan fans would love to hear this, that there are hopes for Sri Lanka only if they get the right direction. And they couldn't have made a better appointment than Tom Moody for that. I mean, Tom Moody is known for his exceptional work in setting up cricket all over the world. The Sunrisers Hyderabad franchise, I think Afzal will know since he is from there. The way they have developed the franchise, the way the identity of the franchise is developed, the style of cricket that they play there. So a lot of things that have been done really well. And that is probably the hope, Nathan, that Tom Moody actually is able to cheer the moods up in Sri Lankan cricket.
Yeah,
So
I did spot as well on the team. A couple of batsmen just seem to be moving around in the order. From like
yeah,
Dick Weller was opening one game, then he's down at 7.
yeah,
Maybe as well, Tom Moody can actually say, right, Dick Weller, you're going to be at opening, and you will keep that space for 6 to 12 months. See
yeah.
how you get on, and then obviously if it works well, be longer than that. But if not, see you later. It's probably that sort
Yeah,
of clarity as well.
Tom Moody is a very decisive person as well. So, and I think he will have a lot of say in the way Sri Lankan cricket goes in the next 3 years and the way he sets it up for the next 15 years probably. Coming to the final three comments, imagine how frustrated English players would be. They came to India on the 25th of January and leave India after 30th May. That's more than 120 days, almost 4 months in India in a bubble. I can understand if Ben Stokes and Jofra Archer don't want to play the IPL. I mean, I can totally sympathize with them. Having said that, it is their decision. So I don't think even Nathan would mind if they come back. Many players joined in after 28 Feb, all white ball players like Morgan, Curran. Some players joined in between like Moeen Ali, Butler, Baster, but Stokes and Archer would be more than frustrated. Before the start of the IPL, this could be the reason why they will withdraw their name. Soon the BCCI will start arranging Indian team tours before IPL so that something like that doesn't happen again. He says two young Sri Lankan bowlers, Mahesh Ikshana and Mathisha Pathirana, have been selected by the Chennai Super Kings. Yeah, yeah,
Just one thing to add. So this guy Mahesh Tikshana, I know him well because he was playing in a team, the Northern Warriors, and I have been in constant touch with him. Touchwood, he's a very nice player and he has performed well. He picked up 3 wickets in the final, and he was, if I'm not wrong, he was one of the key players who won them the final.
yeah.
So he's a prospect for Sri Lankan cricket, and if he is managed well, he can be that guy who can replace. Uh, I guess the fast bowler who just retired. I just completely forgot his name.
Malinga?
Like, no, no, no. There's one fast bowler from Sri Lanka who retired, and he was playing in the Sri Lankan Legends team. I just completely forgot his name.
Okay, okay. We will try to find that name
Yeah,
back later on.
yeah.
Shashank says, I hope you all are aware that 2 kilometer run has replaced the yo-yo test in India as well. In fact, is adopted by a lot of countries. And I am hearing my own voice, as beautiful as it is. Masoom says, Shashank, India has not been replaced. Shashank says, Jofra Archer injury concern. Yes, 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 that's true. That's a big concern too. And Shashank says Damika Prasad is the bowler who retired recently. That's what Shashank says. Okay, so
Yes, yes.
thank you for to all of them who've joined in the comments. Thank you to Nathan for being our last minute wildcard entry and sharing us that lovely story about Sophie Eccleston and a lot of other anecdotes that we did share today. That's an interesting segue that we had in our conversation today. Something that is new and something that I'm pretty sure a lot of people love to hear about because it is quite interesting. Thank you to Afzal for coming back. He's been there, and do follow Average Cricket Fan, his Instagram page, where there are lots of interesting stories that come up. I personally love the one where he talks about the Pongal Test tradition in India, and I hope that tradition, Afzal, does return back to India. Uh,
Yes.
Thank you to Manish and the V Express Sport panel that also had Rohan Gulati in before. They have been our brothers and our saviors in our times of needs, and who better than Manish to show what that is all about when I got ghosted off this channel for quite a while because of electricity. So thank you, Manish. Thank you, Nathan and Afzal again. So thank you to all the viewers who tune into the Sports Doyens Cricket Daily Live. Do not forget, it is our interview which comes out at 5 p.m. tomorrow with Mr. Daniel Norcross. Anurag was extremely kind to remind me of that, and that is in fact coming out at 5 p.m. tomorrow. He is the commentator on the Test match special. He's been there for quite a while, and we will tell the rest of the stories in the interview. So do check that out. We've released a badminton review video today as well for the Onyx Swiss Open 2021. So do go ahead and check that as well. And we will be back live at 10 p.m. tomorrow with our Cricket Daily Live with lots of interesting talking points as the India versus England T20 series heads that one more day closer to action again. So until then, we will see you all soon.